Hey, what is up guys? Jack and Matt here with the Toasty Bros, and today we're going to be doing a $900 Ryzen 3600 gaming PC.
Let's get right into it, shall we? But first, a word from today's sponsor. This video is brought to you by GVGMall, an online marketplace to gain access to some really awesome game keys and more specifically Windows 10 licenses.
Just type in code TB20 down below and then you will get the activation key sent to you. Just type it in and then boom, you have Windows 10 Pro activated.
We use GVGMall for all our systems that we build here at the Toasty Bros, and it's a great resource. So please use the link in the description down below if you're interested and use code TB20 on checkout to save 20%. Now, let's get into this PC build, shall we?
So big thanks to Computer Upgrade King for hooking us up with this Ryzen 3600 and some other new Ryzen 3rd gen stuff. So don't forget to subscribe so that you can see all the other new 3rd gen stuff.
So how about we go ahead and talk about each part and exactly how it plays a role in making a $900 gaming PC. So as we mentioned, the core component is the Ryzen 5 3600. And you know, here at the Toasty Bros, we love the Ryzen 5 platform because it's a great budget option that also has a lot of performance under the hood. And the 3600 is no different. It has 6 cores, 12 threads, and boosts all the way up to over 4 gigahertz. This thing is a great option, especially with the improvements coming from 3rd gen Ryzen, and we're going to be pairing this thing with a B450 motherboard from Gigabyte. This is their Aurorus M B450 motherboard. It is a really nice B450 motherboard, and it does support the Ryzen 3000 series. Now, keep in mind, our motherboards have been updated for 3000 series, but not all of them are going to be ready out of the box. So be sure to consult with whoever you end up buying this motherboard from to see if it'll be updated to the latest BIOS. Most likely within a few months, all motherboards will be updated. Now for the RAM, we have some G.Skill Flare X DDR4 memory at 3200 megahertz. Now you can go with faster memory with Ryzen 3000 series all the way up to like 3600 megahertz on some motherboards, but for this budget system, we're going to be going with 3200 megahertz because it is still very effective and high enough frequency to where Ryzen 3000 series can definitely thrive.
And big thanks to Gigabyte for sending over this RTX 2060 because this is a really good card for a really good price. This is a 6 gig model and it's going to be really awesome for this build. So we're using this one from T-Force. Big thanks to them. This is a 250 gig RGB SSD. There's all kinds of different options. They have a ton of SSDs, so we highly recommend going and checking these guys out. You guys already know, we're really basic with the power supply. We have an EVGA 500 watt BT. This is just a really basic power supply, but it's 80 plus bronze and it's cheap and it'll get the job done. This is Computer Upgrade King, right?
Yes.
Okay. And for the case, we actually have a Computer Upgrade King case. This is the Continuum Micro from Computer Upgrade King. So one of the really cool things, and you guys will see once we actually have the PC on, is there's like this really crazy mirror effect where there's one row of LEDs, but there's a mirror behind it, so it makes it look like it's just going back forever. It's why they call it the Continuum, but it'll look really cool. You guys are gonna enjoy it, so let's go ahead and start building.
Last night we had something, tonight I'll be guessing, but I don't really have a case. You don't have to mention, you just like their attention. It's written all over your face. I don't wanna play the quiet type when I'm near you, reading old messages on my phone every time I see you. Tell me, is this part of an act just to keep your image intact? If you think that strategy's smart, I'm not gonna defend my beating heart. Defend my beating heart. You knocked on my window and slept on my pillow, then said you had found your place. Not sure if I want this. You don't think that I notice. This isn't like giving you space. I don't wanna play the quiet type when I'm near you, pretending that I don't know who you are every time I see you. Tell me, is this part of an act?
Alright guys, so Matt and I were actually very impressed with this PC. It's basically like a 2600 that's upgraded because it's now the 3rd gen 3600, and I was surprised. It actually seemed like a pretty decent upgrade, which normally you would think it'd just be a little bit higher frequency and then you just get like a couple more FPS, but it felt like it was a really big difference.
The 3600 and the changes that they made with 3000 series was really significant. Single-threaded games like Fortnite really benefited and got much higher frame rates, and at 1080p with this configuration, honestly, it was a little bit overkill. You could easily stretch into things like 1440p and maybe even 4K with a system like this, but if you do go 1080p, a high refresh rate monitor, even something like 240 hertz would work really well with this, because honestly that Ryzen 5 can just push a ton of frames out.
So in some of the benchmarks you guys probably saw, we were actually almost maxing out the 2060, which was also really surprising because most of the time you kind of don't really get the graphics card maxed out. Usually it's the processor first, so this thing could probably handle like a 2070 or even a 2080 just fine.
Oh, hi guys, Editing Matt here. There was one more thing I wanted to touch on with the Ryzen 5 3600 PC that we built. RAM speed. RAM speed is very important again with Ryzen 3000 series, and we'll actually be having a dedicated video coming to the channel probably in the next couple of weeks where we test the maximum potential RAM speed around 3600 megahertz and some of the worst case scenario RAM speed with a Ryzen 3rd gen system. The timings on the G-Skill memory were very low, and with those low timings, it actually allowed the system to perform way better than another system that may have less quality RAM in it. So if you are purchasing a system like this, consider spending more money on some higher quality memory, not just spending a lot of money on like those really cheap discounted combos of like 32 gigs of RAM or 16 gigs of RAM that you can buy right now on Amazon from the companies like Team Group, which Team Group makes some good stuff, don't get me wrong, but if you get some stuff that has a better CAS latency and also has a high frequency, like this 3200 megahertz kit, it'll perform a lot better than some no-name brand that you pick up that has like a 30,000 megahertz speed, but then a CAS latency that is just too ridiculous to have to run on a Ryzen system. It does make a big difference, and in a video coming to the channel very soon, you will see a lot more about why that is the case.
And also, if you did want more performance, or maybe you're into things like video editing, live streaming, and want some extra cores, the Ryzen 7 3700 and 3700X does exist, and you can easily slap it into a system like this as well. These B450 motherboards are still really high quality, can definitely handle better processors, and overall this whole 3000 series launch has been really impressive, and we really do like this case from Computer Upgrade King. We definitely have to reiterate that again. This thing is really cool. The mirror effect is awesome. RGB remote can change all the stuff, and the fans that come with it.
So one thing we actually did notice with the fan speed on this Computer Upgrade King case, in case any of you guys want to get it, is there's a really big hub built in at the bottom to connect all these RGB fans, and if you look closely, there also is a fan header that has one pin on it, and I kind of assumed that that one pin was for the tack/sense to basically know how fast to set the fans at. If you plug that in, the fans won't run at full speed. You can actually change the fan speed, because before, when Matt and I had used this case, the fans were just like jet engines taking off. If you plug that into a fan header, you will be good to go.
So that's just something to note for the people over at Computer Upgrade King, and if you are interested in buying this case, which you can for building your own system, please check the link in the description down below, and the same goes for everything else in this PC build. Check the links in the description down below, and thanks again to Computer Upgrade King for sending all this stuff over. We do have 2 more Ryzen builds coming to the channel. You heard it right, 2 more coming up very soon. So be sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already.
So if you guys like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next one.
Goodbye. That was
so creepy, dude.
We will see
that was like
you in the
one
next
of us.
one.
One of us.